I'll make Ryan Archer. Sonny Ryan straight in the comments there. Why are they saying Rice for £80 million? Well, if you watch Sonny, you will find out, mate. Look, it's been a few days since we've done the last live stream. The Fabianski, before we get into the Rice, the Fabianski injury, they're going to know either today or tomorrow whether he needs an operation. Ryan, how big is that for us?
Yeah, it's a massive loss, mate. Him being out for one game is a massive loss for us, but to lose him for up to 3 months, maybe even longer, it could be the making and breaking of our season, mate. Honestly, as I said the other day, I mean, I use Anderson as an example, but what I meant was I'd rather lose an outfield player than Fabianski at the moment because we've got so much strength in positions in midfield that Fabianski is so important to West Ham.
I know some people questioned you, mate, but you ain't got to explain yourself to no one. You know what I mean?
No, I wanted to explain myself. Anderson was the first player that came to me head. I obviously don't want to lose Anderson, but as I said, Fabianski is a massive loss, and I hope that obviously Roberto now is going to step in, and I hope, you never know. You know, we remember Randolph when he first started at West Ham wasn't great. Turned out to be a little cult hero at the end. He had some good games for West Ham. I just hope Roberto gets the support of the crowd, and obviously his back four have got to help him out big time.
Well, let's get into the story then. Man United have been sniffing around Declan Rice again. They need to do something because they're in absolute fucking... Did you watch that game the other night?
Yes, I did, mate. It's two poor teams for me. I mean, Arsenal, I thought, edged it for me. But, Man United, I see them when they played us. I mean, we didn't even come out of second gear against Man United and we beat them 2-0. Declan Rice, for me, I'm not going to say it's a backward step, but I think it's, at the moment, it will be a sideward step if he went to Man United. You look at Harry Maguire. He left Leicester, and they're higher in the league than United. I know Man United are rebuilding, but Man United they're the biggest club in world football. Don't get me wrong, but Declan Rice at this stage of his career West Ham is where he has to be.
This Liam Jones has had 3 goes at this. He said, West Ham, Rice is Shiwi, Rice is Shire, Rice is Holt. I think he's meant to trying to say Rice is Shire. 80 million quid. Apparently, it's sort of it's a price that is warding off suitors. I think. I don't think that he's going to go anywhere. You know, they've obviously had inquiries again. This is according to reports. You know, this is fucking nonsense for as far as we know. But they've had like inquiries again, and they've turned around a bit like what they've done with Diop. Really, they've started sniffing around. They went, "Well, you want him? Pay the money for him, 80 million quid." And Man United are gonna.
Unfortunately, mate, Declan Rice is that good that he's always going to be linked with other teams. The more games he plays for England, the more games he plays for West Ham, the better he gets. And that's unfortunate. We're always going to be, because we're that sort of club. We're not a top 4 club, are we? You know, we're that mid-table team at the moment. So all the bigger teams are going to sniff around our players.
Yeah, that's correct, mate. Yeah, 80 million quid. As I said, nothing in that whatsoever. It's just that from now until the January transfer window, that's just turning around and saying to people, look, he's not for sale really. And if you want to pay that much money for him, then, you know, you're going to pay 100 million quid for him and all that sort of thing. Absolute nonsense. And people, you know, it was only like a couple of weeks ago where Man United fans were turning around and saying to people, oh, he's not, you know, I wouldn't take Rice. Beggars can't be choosers, in my opinion. You know what I mean? But it's one of them things. Did you see the England squad, Ryan?
Yeah, I see it earlier. Obviously pleased for Declan Rice, but there's some good young players been brought in. This is why I rate Gareth Southgate. He's dropped Dele Alli, who's been rubbish for about 2 years now, and Jesse Lingard as well. So he's not just picking them because who they play for. He's picking them on form, and 2 players have dropped out there, and it's good. And this is what I like about Gareth Southgate. He's got 6 games maybe before the Euros next year to get his final squad. We've got 2 away games this week, Czech Republic and Bulgaria, which is going to be tough. But if we win them both, we're in the Euros. We're qualified.
Zane Massey, he's donated $4.99. Thank you very much, Zane. He says Declan Rice is good, but he's overpriced as he's English. I don't think he's overpriced because he's English. I think he's overpriced because he's an important player to us, and to replace him, it cost a lot of money. So he's only worth what people were willing to pay. That's the thing with any transfer fee. Like, to me, Maguire is not worth anywhere near 80 million quid. I don't think that Pepe's worth 75 million quid. But that is the money that them clubs at the time were willing to pay for him. So, it's all conjecture at the end of the day. It's what they're willing to pay. The England squad's looking healthy. I like of Tammy Abraham. They've got that centre back in there from Chelsea. I don't even know who he is. Why?
Yeah, I've seen him play a couple of times, and I've got a couple of Chelsea mates that have been raving about him. And yeah, look, if he's playing well, he deserves it.
This is the right thing to do, though, mate. Is just get him straight into that England squad.
Listen, Gareth Southgate called up Maddison in the last squad and he didn't play. So maybe he's just bringing him in to give him that bit of experience to be around the senior pros in the England squad. You say senior pros, most of them are young. So that's the good thing about it. I think the oldest player we've got is at the moment is probably Harry Kane, and he's only about 24, isn't he? 25?
Yeah, he's not old, is he?
So you got Delph in there as well, who's probably the oldest in the squad. But yeah, no, I like it, mate.
True Claret and Blue says, do you think they should change international breaks so they don't interrupt the season?
I think it's hard, isn't it? Especially when there's qualifiers. Yeah, exactly. When there's qualifiers, you can't play all 12 games during the summer. And it's good for the squads and the players to have a bit of a rest. And if you're on a bad run of form, it gives you time to recoup. But it goes the other way, and you're in a good run of form, it could disturb your season. But lucky enough for us, the last international break, we sort of picked up from where we left off last time, and we've carried on. Yeah,
absolutely. I like the England squad. I like it now. Rice is in it. Never really followed it before, but I like the way Southgate picks the teams. There's a good question. Ken Hammers, Nicky, have you heard anything about away ticketing from the meeting that was reportedly on today? It was on yesterday, I believe. What's the day? What's the day today? Thursday, yeah.
Thursday, yeah.
Yesterday. But no, I haven't heard anything just yet.
I did see something on it popped up on my Clarendon Hughes website that they've put the results out on a survey or something about the ticket office. I don't know if that's from the meeting or not. Let me just have a quick look now, Gordon, while you're talking.
I haven't I haven't heard anything as of yet. Let's have a look at that. The thing is with it, I know Woosa have been posting some stuff, and I'm not the biggest fan of Woosa. I think it's a good idea that's executed poorly, but I think there needs to be some sort of representation. I think the way they've done this is a bit of a farce, to be quite honest with you. It's
right. Yeah, it is sort of. I can read you the questions out if you want.
All right, go on.
So there's about how many questions we got here? There's 8 questions. I'll read them out quickly. So the first one was, thinking about your last contact with the West Ham ticket office, how do you rate them? 45% said good, 23% average, 16 excellent, 8 poor, 7 terrible. I'll skip that one. This is the important one. Do you think the ballot to allocate 10% of the away tickets is fair? Yes, 35%, no, 65%. Do you think the current priority point system needs to be reviewed? Yes, 56%, no, 44%. That's a close one. Yeah, I mean, they're the main ones that we want to talk about. The other ones are like just the phone dealing with the ticket office and things like that. I mean, you'll probably have a proper look at it. This one's, should the ticket office tell supporters what queue number they are in the season ticket waiting list? Yes, 96%, no, 4%. I take it.
Why can't they tell you? I don't understand.
I don't know, mate. I don't think, probably because they don't know the answer.
But yeah,
it does say there at the bottom as well that the meeting was done last night, and they will be releasing. Where is it? They will be releasing the 4,830 word feedback email. So
when
the minutes of the meeting will be out in the next few days.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. It's my opinions, right? It's turned into a fucking mate sandwich club. Like, the way they've done it is very suspicious to me. I see like some tweets from like Woosa yesterday you know, this guy that you know, he's one of the people in the meeting reckons away season tickets should be scrapped.
I've yeah, I'm a bit with the away season ticket thing. I mean, they should have just capped it at 500 and left it as that. That should have been it. But they seem that they've given an extra 200 away. So yeah, I don't know, mate.
I don't know. The thing is, I think, you know, once you've done it, how can you, once you've made that commitment, and it's obviously like something that they've thought about before. Once they've made a commitment to like people having away season tickets, how can you turn around next season and go, no, you can't have one now?
Yeah, it's a difficult situation. It's for the club to decide. I mean, whatever they're going to do, some people ain't going to be pleased. You're not going to please everyone, so they either have to make a decision, stick to it, be firm with it. But yeah, I hope they don't start scrapping priority points and things like that, because if that does, mate, there'll be. I'll
tell you now, right? Them people in that committee, and this is not a threat from me. That I'm not, you know, but I'm telling you now what will happen, right? If that happens and they've gone in this meeting without having feedback, look, what they decide in this meeting is not going to be nailed on unless West Ham agree it. Simple as that. They ain't gone into the meeting to have a vote. It's not fucking Parliament, you know what I mean? But if they come out that meeting and, you know, we read the minutes of that meeting and it says so and so suggested this, so and so suggested that, without gathering feedback of people that actually go to away games. You know what I mean? Like when they're sitting in a room of like 10, 15 people and they're going, yeah, well, 40% of them go to away games and all that sort of thing. And they sort of decide that there will be a riot, I think. And the people on that committee will end up getting their faces punched in because...
it wouldn't be safe for them to go home games.
Well, it wouldn't be safe for them to go away games. That's for sure.
Well, it would be, because they'd be the only ones going with all their mates.
Yeah, it's like, you know, if they do that without like doing the feedback after everyone's turned around and said, you know, give it more time, you need more feedback, blah 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 blah, and if that all gets, Matt, we will answer Sonny in a minute, mate. Let me just finish what we're talking about here first. If that all gets decided without you know, heeding that advice to get more feedback from fans that actually go to the game, there'll be riots here. Right, let's have a look at Sonny. Sonny, Ryan says, what positions do you feel we need to improve and who would you bring in?
Well, we definitely need a striker. There's no doubt about that. Selling Hernandez, we definitely need a backup striker to come in January. As for other positions, it's difficult, isn't it? At the moment, I mean, I think we're sort of solid everywhere, but come January, that'd be different. There'd be injuries and probably some couple of people leaving the club, even though Pellegrini said he wants to stay loyal to his squad. So it's a difficult one to answer at the moment because, but we definitely need a striker. That's one thing I would say.
Ben Watt says, has Live and Uncut replaced On The Social?
No. The Social will be back this week. I'm sorry, mate. It's been a mental week for me again this week, so I'm going to do it on Sunday. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the first one on Sunday. After the game on Saturday, I'll do it on Sunday, ready to go out on Tuesday.
At last, mixed 1976. True Claret and Blue. Would you buy a keeper?
It's a tough one, that one, because we've obviously bought two in the summer. We've got Fabianski. We've also got Trot out on loan that we can call back in January. So, depending, Fabianski, I'm hoping to be back well before then. And no, I wouldn't buy another goalkeeper. Me personally, I wouldn't.
I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised by Ricard. Honestly, I do.
I hope he is, mate. I really do. I want the fan. Everyone will get behind him on Saturday. I've got no doubt about that.
Matt Powell says, "Hey Ryan, should Nicky have to wear a Pirates outfit at the next game or a woman's dress?"
I reckon you should go in the. I'll ring up the Sheffield United ticket office, get you a away ticket for West Ham game to sit in there. And you got to dress in a Carlos Tevez mask and a West Ham shirt in amongst all the Sheffield United fans.
Yeah, brilliant. Get Roberto out and a better people. Come on, Luke, be positive, mate. Calling it Yarmolenko will get injured this weekend. I hope not, Tyler. That'd be disaster, mate.
It'd be devastating.
Let's have a look forward to Crystal Palace, mate. We take on Crystal Palace. Scott's preview will be up a bit later on today or tomorrow morning, I think it said. But let's have a quick look forward to Crystal Palace. We do pretty well against Crystal Palace at home.
Yeah, we do. And we've seemed to have a good record against Crystal Palace in the last few years, home and away. I said the other day that I think it's going to be a tight game on Saturday. I think it's one that we will win, but I think it will be tight. It could be a 2-1, a 3-2 or something like that. But I think we'll beat them. Lanzini's back. He loves playing against Crystal Palace. So, speaking of Lanzini, I mean, the good thing about him, he hasn't been called up to the Argentina national squad, which is good for us. Gives him 2 weeks with us to...
That's got to be some sort of agreement after being injured from the last time.
Yeah, I think that is. I mean, he was in the last squad for Argentina. So, but yeah, no, I think we've got enough to beat Crystal Palace on Saturday. They're a tough side. They're a good side this season. They're a team that I thought was going to be doing a lot worse than what they are. But I fancy us to win. I think it'll be tight though.
Yeah, I fancy us to win. I think we just have a bit too much from Stuart says, if Dean Garner carries on with his good film, would you sell him for a good fee or keep him for the squad next season? Definitely keep him, mate. Why would you sell him?
If he I'd call him back in January if he's the way he's been playing. But it's good to see him doing well at West Brom. I mean, they lost their first game the other night to Leeds, but I could definitely see them getting promotion this season. And I like to see Slaven Bilic doing well and Julian Dix as well, obviously. But no, Dear Garner at the moment's on fire down there. So he's definitely got a future at West Ham for me.
This dog's going mental, yeah. Had that. Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't sell him at all. I think he's going to be a cracking little player. Like, I have a bit of a... I don't know whether it's a sort of like a connection when people come through the academy and then you start selling them like early on and then they go on. I mean, I remember one Jimmy Bullard we sold as an academy youngster, let go, and he went on to be a good player. You know what I mean? And Stanislas, who's gone on to be a good player for Bournemouth, really. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's. I definitely wouldn't see him. You at least give him a season or two in your team to see how he gets on. Darren Jenkins says, lads, I have a question. May have to be in 2 parts if okay. One, we get to an FA Cup final this season. How do they do tickets? We'll have more season ticket holders now than allocated tickets. Well, our FA Cup final would be obviously it'll go on priority points, I suppose. Same as
you know what? I think you get to an FA Cup final. Yeah, I can understand priority points, but for me, I'd go by history. Season ticket holders that have had your season ticket longer. If you've had a season ticket 15, 20 years, say, you should have more priority over someone that's had it for 1 season.
I don't think it will be. I think
it probably won't be. I mean, to do it fair, you just have to do a ballot.
Well, the thing is, it'll go down to low points, won't it? You know what I mean? Because obviously you've got people with 31 points or whatever, so they'll all get their tickets. The corporate get their tickets and all that, blah, 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 blah. But what do you get in an FA Cup final? About 30,000, isn't it?
Nah, not even that no more. I think you get about 20 odd thousand.
It's a 90,000 seat stadium, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. A lot goes to corporate.
Yeah, so
probably get about 25,000. I think who was it last season in the FA Cup final? Man City, Watford, wasn't it? I think Man City got about 25,000 tickets.
Yeah, that's mental then. Matt Powell, Turkey. I'm currently there. It's so beautiful. Lovely sunrises and sunsets. Locals are so lovely. Have a lovely time, mate. I'm jealous, to be quite honest with you. Acid joke. Anderson seems to get the hump when he plays with Cresswell, especially when a press blocks him to get back and defend. To be fair, he's been getting back and putting in challenges. Bring back Masuaku? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You can't bring back Masuaku at the minute with the way Cresswell's playing. He's been absolutely world class. I would say if Anderson's struggling with Cresswell, then Anderson's got the problem, not Cresswell. You know what I mean? Because Cresswell's playing out his skin, right?
It's it's a difficult one because, as you said, the last 2 games, Cresswell's been unbelievable. 2 goals in 2 games. Masuaku was playing well before he got sent off at Aston Villa, so it's a difficult one. But it's one that that's why Pellegrini's paid the money, and that's why he's manager. The decisions he's got to make, but it'd be very harsh to drop Cresswell this weekend, in my opinion.
Sorry, mate. Can you put the dog outside, please? Now, I don't think you can predict Palace's. Angela, 1 minute, mate. Jamie, do it now, please. Jesus Christ. Bryce got sold for 80 million, says Maxi. No, mate, that's the price tag that West Ham have put on him. David G. Hammer, with Nathan Holland into the last year of his contract, do you think we'll see him in the first team again?
Yeah,
because he's been a great prospect for us for, I don't know, like a few years. Like, there's people been saying he's going to be the next one to break through. Then people like Dean Garner have sort of overtaken him. But loads of people sort of wanted him to play in midweek. He played in midweek, then he got slagged off.
Yeah, it was a bit harsh. I mean, the Oxford game, from the highlights I see and from people that were there that I spoke to, said that he started the game really well.
Yeah.
He got obviously dragged off by Pellegrini. It's harsh to chuck kids into a game like that sometimes. But look, he's smashing it for the under-23, so hopefully, you never know, he might get another chance this season. But
will he sign a new contract, though?
I don't see why not. It depends, doesn't he? You know, these players want first team football, and if he got an offer from a championship club to go and play week in, week out, he's probably going to take it. So
yeah,
it's a decision that the club have to make, Pellegrini has to make, and Nathan Holland has to make. Absolutely.
We could have 6 or 7 academy players in the first team match day squad next season. There's loads to be a happy hammer about. I agree with that, Duvet Dance. I'm quite optimistic. I'm feeling good about West Ham at the minute. FIFA Point Boy 1 2 3 4 5 6 says, "Is Dia getting better?"
Yeah, I'd say he's improved since last more than. I'd say he's better than what he was last season. He's still sometimes there's questions over him. Not a lot, but sometimes he's positioning. But I think since Ogbonna's come into the team, they've struck up a great relationship at the back there, and they look hard to beat sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Dean Phelps says, "Love what you boys do." How do you think? How high can you finish? How high do you think we can finish given our current league position? I'm thinking 7th. There is spots there to be had at this present moment in time. I don't care what anybody says. Like we're nearly a quarter way through the season, and we're sitting in 5th. We could be sort of 2nd or 3rd or 4th by the close of day, close of play on Saturday. There's places there to be had. Like there is, you look at the likes of Tottenham, who are, I mean, you know, you only have to look at what happened to them the other night. You know what I mean? You know, there's all sorts of nonsense going on now. Chelsea turn up one week, they're brilliant. Turn up the next week, they're not so brilliant. You know what I mean? There's teams like Sheffield United that are, you know, doing really well at the moment. There's teams like Palace, Leicester, obviously, are flying at the moment. You know, and then you look at sort of 2 teams that was in the top 6 on Sunday, and that's Arsenal and Man United, and they were both terrible.
Yeah, one thing I would say is that City and Liverpool are going to battle it out for the title, 1st and 2nd.
Oh,
from 2nd downwards, mate, it's anyone's. I mean, teams I've been really impressed with Leicester this season, and they've got a game on Saturday. They've got Liverpool at Anfield on Saturday, which is going to show how far they've come as a team, Leicester. Because if they go there and get a point, massive for them.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think from second down, it's anyone's. Anyone can break into that top 4 this season. It's so open.
Ben Watt says, think Nick's going to blow his head off in the second over. The dog's driving me insane. It's been driving me insane all day, to be quite honest with you. Ken Hammer said, Harry looks shaky when he plays left side. I've never noticed that. To be honest.
Yeah, I think he plays sort of left side when Balbuena's in the team, doesn't he? So now Bonner's in the side, he plays on the right. So
Duvet Dancer, if we're going to get to do it, this is the season for the top 6.
It's a massive opportunity for a lot of teams to break into that top 4 this season. I don't think any of the teams below second will have a better chance. That includes us.
True Claret and Blue, do Leicester have... can we do a Leicester and near top of the table? No, absolutely not.
No, I don't think we're obviously going to win the league, but there's no reason why we can't break in that top 4. It's just about being consistent, being lucky with injuries, and picking up points against teams that we usually drop points against, home and away.
I don't know what that says, Neil. Can you write that out again, mate? Because I can't work out what that says there. There's no one going to win a league. I personally think Liverpool are going to win the league. I think they're a bit stronger. I think Man City might drop a few points over the next couple of weeks or whatever, and because of their defensive crisis and all that, and they've got some some top teams coming up. But personally, I don't think they will. I don't think they'll catch Liverpool because I think it'd be too much gap by the time they get there. Ben Watt says, boys, you've got to laugh at Spurs.
Yeah, I've had banter since the other night with my Spurs mates, and look, at the end of the day, it's a terrible defeat at home, but they're still in the Champions League, so you can't laugh at them too
much as you laugh, it is to Bayern Munich. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a damaging defeat, and as I said, Pochettino's only 1 or 2 bad defeats away from losing the job. And to think 6 months ago, or whatever it was, he was in the Champions League final and everyone was loving him.
Yeah. Jarvis Morris says, if you think we'll win the league, I don't think we'll win the league. I don't know where you got that from. Let's start wrapping it up now, mate. We're going to do a short one tonight. Darren Jenkins, if they really believe in themselves, then this season to get 4th, apart from last year at the Bowling, this is the best chance we'll have. I do, I know what you're saying there, but I think the competition around, not just the top 6, but I think the competition around everyone is big at the minute. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of good teams.
I think fully fit squad. We've got a top 6 squad. That's my personal opinion. I think we're good enough to break into that top 6, but it's about being consistent and being lucky with injuries.
DZ Football is letting Adrian go. Now proving to be a big mistake. Liverpool signing Adrian. Adrian was on £70,000 a week at West Ham. £70,000 a week, and when they signed Roberto, they was looking at saving wages. Look, they was getting people off the books. They've saved a lot in wages this year. A lot in wages. £70,000 a week, and they thought they was getting Roberto, who was of similar quality, for a lot less. And in retrospect, in hindsight now, of course it's a mistake to let him go when you get your number 1 goalkeeper, and he's injured now for a few months and all that sort of thing. But would I have been happy with him signing another 2-3 year deal on 70 grand a week when you know that Fabianski's going to be number 1? Not really.
No, I think Adrian made it clear, didn't he? He wanted to leave the club. And look, good luck to him at Liverpool, but he's not our player no more. Whether it's a mistake, looking at it now, you could say it is a mistake because I think Adrian's probably better than Roberto. But as you said, mate, 70 grand a week for a backup goalkeeper is a lot of money.
John Italiano, just wrapping this up now. John Italiano, 1985. who do you most want to beat this year?
For me, I always love winning London derby, so you can have that little bit of banter with your mates and that. But the team I really want to beat most this year is Man City away, because they keep giving us good ideas at home. So I want to go out there and nick a 1-0 win, but probably ain't going to happen.
Duvet Dancer answered that question. He said Oxford.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to do that. Did you boys watch the Matt Jarvis interview with Gio?
Yes, I did. He done the Dean Ashton one as well. 2 good interviews. I think Matt Jarvis is doing the West Ham Way event this week as well, which would be good.
I think he is, mate. Yeah.
I think there's still tickets for that as well.
Yeah, go and get them. True Player and Blue. Do you think Pellegrini will try someone else up top with Haller, or just stay with him up front? He's going to stay with him up front, isn't he? Like,
I think it also depends how the game's going. If we're trailing, then chuck someone up. As I've said since the summer, since last season, I think Yarmolenko could play up front. But someone like Lanzini could maybe move up a little bit further with Haller. So it always comes down to how the game's going for me.
Absolutely. Unless anyone's got anything else to add, I'm going to end it there.
Just quickly, one thing before we go. Winston Reid looks like he's going to be in the. He looks like he's going to be in the under 23s next week against Cheltenham Town, which is good. You know, hopefully, as I said the other day, I can't see him fully coming back into the first team and being a regular starter, but I want to see him get fit. I want to see him be in the first team squad again, and you know, you never know. He might come back fully fit, but it's a tough one. It's a tough one, but it's good to see him back.
Pellegrini, in a quote today, turned around and said, "We have to be patient with him. He hasn't played football for 17 months."
The thing is, mate, what you got to remember is go back to Big Sam days and things like that. We'd rush someone like Winston Reid back because we wouldn't have anyone better than him at the club. At the moment now, we've got Ogbonna, Diop, Balbuena. You've even got the youngster, is it Cardoza?
Yeah.
You've got the youngster there that maybe might come in and play there. So there's no need to rush him back. It's just I just want to see him back in amongst the first team.
If he breaks down again, though, Ryan, I think he'll retire.
Oh yeah, if he breaks down again, I think he will turn around himself and say, "Look, there's as a professional football player, he probably won't. He'd want to come back, but sometimes you just got to, there's a long life after football, and he don't want to be struggling for the rest of his life walking around. So he's earned a lot of money out of football. He's probably comfortable in his career. He can go on and do coaching for West Ham, or he could get involved in a New Zealand setup. But let's hope we do see him back in the West Ham shirt, because I think he deserves that. I think he deserves to step foot on the London Stadium again and us see him play.
Absolutely. There's a few questions coming. Lanzini to support Hammer up front. Phil's Big Blue Rabbit says, "No chance you'll do us at the Etihad, boys. Sorry, I love West Ham, but that's not going to happen."
That's why I said. Someone said, "Who would you like to beat this season?" Because you always give us a good idea at London Stadium. I'd like to give you a good idea at the Etihad, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Oasis, rock and roll star, you'll never beat us at City. #1 team in England.
Wait, listen, Oasis. If you want to roll with it, don't look back in anger.
It happened. Fair play, Norwich.
No, it's look. We beat you at the Etihad the other season, 2-1. So we can, but it's
Palace beat them last year at the Etihad.
Look, City are a great team, great squad, unbelievable. I like Man City as a football club. Look, even the jacket's light blue.
Yeah. How much is our team worth? That's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, if you add it up individually, you're probably looking about 250 million, maybe 300, but I don't know.
Maybe a bit more than that.
Market value.
Gareth Stewart's coming in. What's this about, Royce? What's this?
He's gone, mate. He's gone. We can't do nothing else. I'm joking. No, it's just title of the video. What's going on with this Declan Rice?
Bobby Mamora. Last time I saw Pellegrini, he was laying into Eddie Howe. I think Eddie said, "Your Grecian 2000 ain't working, mate." I don't know what the fuck that means. Right, I'm going to start wrapping this up because I want my dinner now. there ain't really a lot to go on, is there? Really?
Nah, I mean, you didn't give us your score predictions for Palace, mate.
My score prediction: I think we're going to win 3-1.
Mm.
I think we'll be tight, and I think we'll get we'll be 2-1 up. We'll be 2-0 up. Then they'll get one back, and then we'll score one in like the 95th minute just to wrap it up. After
I think that it could be one of these games where Palace actually go 1-0 up, and then we have to fight back. And sometimes I prefer that sometimes because the players have to step up and the game gets a bit more entertaining. But I take a 1-0 win.
Phyllis feels big blue rabbits. You left me crying at the bowling in '87, boys. I was there when you sent us down. Yeah, we've been there a few times, mate. Don't worry. We are losing with Roberto. Luke, get out of this room, you negative bastard.
No,
eat the dog for dinner.
I mean, look, I can understand why people have got their thing about Roberto. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He didn't have a great pre-season, and he conceded 4 against Oxford, and obviously he wasn't great against Bournemouth the other day, so you can understand it.
They both had a shouting match by the dugout after the Bournemouth game. I don't know.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, because he was obviously he was upset with their the assistant manager for Bournemouth kept moaning at the fourth official, so Pellegrini sort of had a moan back.
Massive fitness dinner, mate.
Sausage and mash. Sausages and mash.
Sausages and mash. There you go,
Sausages and mash.
Jamie's answered that. Yeah, that's it for tonight, I think. Thank you very much for joining us on this live stream. Please can you get off this floor. Thank you very much for joining me on this live stream. We'll be back again on Monday for another live stream. Obviously, we're going to be building up to Crystal Palace on Saturday, which is a 5:30 kickoff that you can watch on the TV. If you ain't lucky enough to see us at be at the stadium, if you are lucky enough to be at the stadium, of course, we'll be outside the club shop where we do fan cams every week, and we love new people coming over. So come and have your say. Yeah. Darren Jenkins says, Nick, get off here with us, Wallies, and go and see your son. I am going to, mate. He's been with me for a few hours now. So, yeah. So, as I said, outside the club shop, we'll be doing fan cams and all that stuff. Check out Scott's preview that's going up later on today. I think Jam's doing a West Ham week.
Who?
All right, I'm going to have to say goodbye.
Daddy. No, I just want to say, told him that I scored a bicycle kick on FIFA.
Jamie scored a bicycle kick on FIFA, everyone.
No, he did. No, he didn't.
Yeah, he
did.
I did.
Right. Well done, Jamie.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for joining us, boys. One thing left to say.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
Yeah. Hey. No, my man.